Welcome, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Good evening. My Instagrammers got on a little bit earlier. They're waving to me. I see Misha, Coco Lane, Maria Cameron. I can't understand that one. It's a little bit abbreviated to read, but welcome. Welcome. Glad you all are on with me. It's good to have you on. Happy New Year, if I haven't said it already. I see Joelle over there as well. Pastor TJ, welcome. Good to see everyone on tonight. If I haven't seen you before, Happy New Year. God bless you. We're on night 14 with our Soul Detox 2024, detoxing our emotions. So we're binding dysfunctional emotions and loosing emotional intelligence. I want you to tell your neighbor, and that means go to chat. I want you to tell your neighbor there's another level to intelligence. Come on, type it in the chat for me. There is another level to intelligence. Fill your tank, Carmen. You got it. There's another level to intelligence. It doesn't stop with intellect. Good evening, Edith Sylvia. Thank you, my dear. There's another level. Just when we thought we had it all. Good evening, Rafael Sanchez, 1:53 p.m. Good evening, Dawson Adult Daycare. Ashley Otero, hello. Rochelle and Tasha. Gwyneth Douglas, hello, family. Hello, Jason. Stephanie Ramirez, good evening. Greetings to you, Leah Shaw. That's right. Say hello to all the other detoxers. We're getting it done in 2024. Manuel, Diana, hello, Lydia Cordova. Hello, Chevelle. Darlene is claiming the best seat in the house. Good evening, Florence, Nubian Queen. Hello, Prudence, Dolores Davis, Noemi. Hello, family. How's everyone doing? Sandra Redding is back up out of that bed and online with us, even if it's just the symbolic bed and not the natural bed. Good evening, Audrey, Lasonia. Good to have you with us. Cam, Carmen Crespo Solar, Carmen Sanchez. Hello, Robert Taylor. Your second order went out, sir. You're all set. Thank you for working with us on that. Hello there, Dominique, Tony. Hello, Tony Cranford. Hello, Rochard, Rosalie, Brittany Lamb. Hello, good people. Carmen Sanchez says 36 ounces of water and 2 miles walk. Check liked, check shared. Good evening, Star Power 21. I see you on Instagram. Good to see you with us. Patricia Wilson, Daniel Woodard, John Booker, Davita. Good evening, family. Joycey. Hello, Danielle, Edith, Sylvia, Renee. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Bianca, LJ. Good evening, Crystal Adgers, Denise Holter. Good evening, family. Mariah Lopez, Latanya, good to have you with us. Greetings. God bless you. Mariah Lopez. Hello, family. Lulu, Stacy Turner. Good to see you. Good to see you. Teresa's on with us tonight. I see Word Life Media just joined in on Instagram. Good evening, Agent Pamela. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. I see you, Candy. I see you, Nubian Queen and Anna. Hello, Elitza. Hello, family. Mike Rose, back from Wildwood, New Jersey, where he brought the gospel. Come on, let's give some hands of praise to God and thanking him for using this young man to spread this gospel. What an honor and a privilege. Hello, Cynthia Baisden. Hello, Lisa Palmer. Good evening, Yvonne J. Good evening to you. Hello, Keita, Jerry Towns. How are you, Stacy? Rosalind. Wow, what a group tonight. Yeah, we're up to 98 already. Boy, and it's only 8:10. So we're going to cook with gas tonight, huh? We're going to cook with gas. Yes, yes, and yes. All right, Joy Nolan. Yes, another level 2 intelligence. Dominique, I see you, baby girl. Hello, family. I see you, Vanessa. And it looks like I just about reached the end. I think Crystal Adgers. I'm seeing some repeat names. Audrey Holly. Hello, family. Very good. Good to see everyone in the house tonight. Oh, taste and see. There is another level to intelligence. And according to a lot of researchers, that this is a big deal. That this is a big deal. Emotional intelligence is a keeper. They'll train you for other things. They'll pay for you and help you get a college education. But in emotions, they don't have a school for that. So they expect us to come in already skilled. Nubian Queen, 11,000 steps today. And almost all of her H2O. I can only imagine how much all of it is. Gwyneth Douglas did a 25-minute walk, 3 glasses of water. Get down. I saw Sweet Cora post her walking video every day. She's posting hers on her Facebook page. And I see Yolanda Dawson every day. No matter what the temperature is, she is out there walking. Hello, Pastor Yashika. Good to have you with us, sister. Thank you for that beautiful flyer you made. The Apostles' House will be over there partying with y'all in February, and we are excited about it. Lisa Palmer, 32 ounces of water today. No exercise, but did the homework. Yes, and yes. Very good. Well, welcome, everyone. Good to have you all on tonight. Let's get to business tonight. There is another level to intelligence. So let's get to our business tonight. We have landed tonight, and we are literally just steps away from chapter 5. And chapter 5 would literally take us halfway through the training. And if you notice, we are steps away from the 15th day of our 30-day detox, being today is our 14th consecutive day. So we are right on schedule. Thank you for those who sent in your testimonies. I appreciate you. We have landed tonight in a very special place. And chapter 5, I believe, is going to take us even deeper into relationships as far as EI is concerned. So tonight we are starting on about 133, I believe the pages we're on now, is empathy in our familial relationships. I think that was the first typo I found. Empathy in our familial relationships. You may not have cheated on them, but have you cheated them? Come on, type that up in your chat. Have you cheated them? You may not have cheated on them, but have you cheated them? Have you cheated those who love you and trust you and want to see more of you and want to talk more with you and want to spend more time with you? Have you cheated them of the relationship that they deserve with you because of a lack of intelligence in our emotions? You may not have cheated on me, but have you cheated me? And for most, that answer is going to be a resounding yes. When one person in a domestic relationship, I think the old term, and I heard Peyton say it tonight, it had me laughing. She didn't say shacking up, playing house. Playing house. That's what domestic means. One person in a house, domestic house, that could mean lovers, friends, family, whatever in that domestic relationship. When one person in a domestic relationship lacks empathy, it can have significant and often detrimental effects on the relationship and the well-being of both individuals involved. You may not have cheated on me, but have you cheated me? There's another level to emotional intelligence. There's another level to intelligence. And that level is emotional intelligence. And when you are in a relationship with someone who lacks empathy, who lacks emotional intelligence, it can have a significant and often detrimental effect on the relationship and the well-being of both individuals involved. Good evening, my good friend, Pastor Bruce Carter. Here are some of the effects that you might have experienced in these relationships. Number one of the biggest destroyers, communication. Communication breakdown. Having a lack of empathy or lacking the knowledge, the skill of emotional intelligence can lead to poor communication. The empathetic partner may feel unheard or often misunderstood. And this leads to frustration and resentment. This breakdown in communication can cause distance and tension in the relationship. Some of us are at a wit's end. Some of us have been at a wit's end and realize that there was a breakdown in communication. And it could be because of emotional intelligence reasons, such as empathy. It could be other reasons. But this is a big destroyer of any type of relationship, whether it's spousal or just friends, business relationships, communication breakdown. You're not understanding me. Someone feels unheard. They feel that they're with a partner who just refuses to give any sort of empathy in their dialogue. You may have also experienced decreased emotional intimacy. What do you think happens if we have a decrease in our emotional intimacy? It's probably going to affect the intimacy in the relationship. Once the emotions get affected, of course, in women, but believe it or not, there's a lot of men who need emotional intimacy, whether they will admit it or whether they realize it or not. And when the emotional intimacy is not showing up in the relationship, it brings a breakdown, such as empathy is crucial for emotional intimacy. When one partner lacks empathy, the emotional connection between them can weaken. The empathetic partner, come on, this might be you, may feel emotionally neglected or unsupported, leading to a sense of loneliness. There's no loneliness like the loneliness you feel when you're with someone else. That's a comment to put in the chat. That's a comment to post tonight on our posts on our social media platforms. There's no loneliness like the loneliness you feel with other people. It's one thing to know that you are alone and lonely, but it's a horrible thing to know that you're not alone and yet you're lonely. That's a horrible place to be. And it's in many households across this country and beyond right now. Many families, huge families, and they're all in separate rooms. They don't communicate unless it's through text, or they don't communicate unless they sit together and eat, and then everyone goes back to their own pleasures. There's couples that, as one has given up, but is still physically there, and the other one's showing up because they just haven't gotten the nerve to go and live the life that they'd really enjoy or think they'd enjoy. That's the other side to it. So what happens? It weakens the bond. It weakens the emotional connection in the relationship because the empathetic partner feels as though they're carrying the weight of the relationship. So they feel emotionally neglected. Emotional neglect. It's a real thing. Or unsupported. How many times have you said, I feel so unsupported? I feel unheard. I feel invisible. I feel as though I don't matter. You may be emotionally neglected. And the beautiful thing about this is this all can be changed. And it can be changed like this if we have willing partners in this relationship. Good evening, Okita, and good evening, Special. And good evening, my good friend, the Reverend Larnell Satch. Love you, my brother. And when you have a communication breakdown and you have a decreased emotional intimacy in the relationship, guess what you're going to have? Increased conflict. Come on and talk to me. Increased conflict. I don't care if it's with your sisters in the church. Increased conflict. When there's a lack of empathy, it can often contribute to more frequent and intense conflicts. When you offer someone empathy, believe it or not, at least 50% of the time, you're not going to argue about what you're arguing about, because you're arguing because you're stating your case. You're believing with passion what you believe in. But when you realize that there is a communication breakdown, there's a, what's that, perception shift that we did a couple nights ago. When these dynamics could be possibly be in this relationship, it begins to break down and we're at it. Good evening, Apostle Clarice Thompson. Good to see you in from the Bahamas. A lack of empathy. Wow. Frequent and more intense conflicts. The empathetic partner may become frustrated by the unresponsive or dismissive behavior or the other. And you will really benefit, especially in a love or marriage relationship, even for a friend relationship. You will truly benefit if you can do that empathy circle that we talked about last night. When we can allow one another to share their perspective on things without interruption and without your correction or your counsel. You let them talk. And then the next night, you do the same thing. Because we have to first start with active listening. A lot of arguments are happening and there's no active listening happening. We're just so passionate about what we believe and what we feel we're fighting for that we often forget we're on the same team. And we fight as if we're our enemies. When it's not you that I don't love, or it's not you that I can't stand. It's this issue. It's your connection to it, your belief on it. I feel emotionally neglected, but I feel you are emotionally tied into that thing, whatever that thing could be. So the empathetic partner becomes frustrated by the unresponsive or dismissive behavior of the other, leading to arguments and disagreements. If we took the time to have empathy with our loved ones, there would be a significant decrease in conflict. I promise. I can't tell you I can make it all go away. I can't tell you that taking you through this will make it go away. But if they are two truly willing partners, and believe it or not, I have counseled a lot of couples, and I was surprised at the number of couples where one of them was there, but was not committed to the work or the relationship. And it's very heartbreaking how we will take each other's life, time that we can never get back for granted. And sometimes, most times, they won't finish the sessions. And one partner will often say to me, I don't feel like she's invested in this. I don't feel like he's committed to this. Do you sense this? Do you see this? And I said, well, let's just continue to pay attention to how he or she responds to the questions that we're bringing up in the work that I give you guys to do outside of the office. Let's see how they continue to respond with that, because that's not my job. They need to recognize in their partner that they're not on board with this. And they probably have not been on board for a while. So where's the breakdown? Where does one person feel like they're giving and giving and the other person is taking and taking? And the other person has absolutely no idea why their other partner feels like this. The dynamics of such a powerful union. So this will lead to dismissive behavior of the other person, leading to arguments and disagreements. But if we took the time, someone say, take the time. Am I worth it to you? Is this union worth it to you? And asking someone that when they're already frustrated, you may get an answer that's not really their true answer. People often get frustrated in relationship and forget how they fell in love, why they fell in love, what it was like when they were in love. What was it like before these disagreements came up? If we took the time to have empathy with our loved ones, there would be a significant decrease in conflict. Because sometimes it's that old perception, and we allow people to keep their perceptions. That's a problem. We've got to talk it out. Mediation, mediators, a third party ear in the group. And one of the big hitters when communication breakdown happens, decreased emotional intimacy shows up, will also affect the intimacy. Then it leads to increased conflict. And then we really have straight up honest emotional neglect. Emotional neglect. When the empathetic partner may feel emotionally neglected or abandoned when their emotional needs are not met. This can lead to feelings of loneliness and sadness. And again, it's not only with women, it does happen with men as well. But when a woman is not emotionally stimulated, it is very, very, very hard for her to be stimulated in many other areas. You may even not only notice a loss of interest from her with you, you may also notice the meals tasting a little different. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not talking about the ones who may do it intentionally. I'm not talking about the passive aggressives. I'm talking about the ones who cook with love, cook with passion, excited to make that meal. Cooking is like therapy for me. So I absolutely love it. I'll make 2 dinners a day if I can have the time. My dinner is started every day at 2 p.m. Dinner's done by 4 p.m. And I love it. It's just like therapy to me. I put on my good music, my good cooking music, and I love it. But when relationships around me, even the relationship that I have with being a leader of a church, if it's too much coming at me at one time as a leader of a church, I can lose the passion and the love for the things that I once loved and things that gave me passion. And I'll cook something and I'll be like, I just don't even want to eat it, where I'm cooking just to feed hungry individuals now. I'm not cooking to feed hungry individuals with a love and a passion to cook. It begins to affect the other areas of your life where you're good at, where you enjoy it. And these are layers, guys. And these all may not be layers that happen in a chronological order for you. It could be different for each of us. But these are the layers that begin to eat at us in domestic relationships. And then when someone doesn't feel that they're emotionally cared for, when they don't feel like they're supported, when they feel invisible, when they feel that there is a weakened emotional connection between them and their partner, when they feel that there's a breakdown in communication, now trust begins to decrease. And in my teaching on page 134, I believe, it is number 5, decreased trust. Trust is essential in any relationship. Essential. When one partner lacks empathy, it can erode trust because the empathetic partner may doubt the sincerity of their partner's feelings and intentions. This again will affect sexual intimacy in the union because it's eroding away. It's almost like, you ever see a beautiful sandcastle at low tide? And then you see the waves in the water, as beautiful as they sound, as wonderful as it is to look at it. It's going to wipe that sandcastle right away because it will erode the sand underneath the castle, and the castle will crumble down because they're doubting the sincerity of their partner's feelings and intentions. And trust is a foundation in any relationship, It's very important in business relationships. I don't need to trust you in any loving way, but I need to be able to trust you as a business partner, as a peer, as ministers, as leaders to senior leadership, in your friendships, especially in your marital relationships, your love relationships. It is a major component. Decreased trust. Now we're really having some problems here. And at this point, and probably way beyond this, number 6 talks about resentment and anger. The empathetic partner may develop feelings of resentment and anger towards their less empathetic partner because they will feel unsupported and unloved, leading to negative emotions. And when negative emotions kick in, the self-talk goes on fleek. You know what that means? It's amplified, right? And then when the self-talk is amplified, guess what happens? In the beginning of the chapter, we talked about thoughts, feelings, emotions, actions. So now we have a story inside that we're telling ourselves. Now they're at work all the time because they don't want to be around you, because they don't understand how they're failing in this relationship or feel as though they're failing in this relationship. So they're staying at work more, or they're stopping somewhere else after work because they just don't want to be in the house where they feel they're failing. So now this partner who's already feeling neglected, who have shared that they feel neglected in some of these ways, if not all of these ways, and now they see you're not making a change with my complaining and or nagging at some point. Instead, you're feeding yourself more by staying out more, you're working more, you're doing other things more. When one is staying out, because let's just use it for the male perspective, he can't stand to feel like he failed. He needs to fix it. And if he can't fix it with his hammer or his axe or his screwdriver, he doesn't know what else to do. You're not giving him anything to help fix this problem. You're telling him how you feel, but he lacks empathy because we assume that people are born with empathy, and they're not. Everyone is not born with that. Remember, there was a great fall thousands of years ago, and what was supposed to be is no longer. And we have to now work towards things that were once purposed for us, given to us. So to assume that your partner should be empathetic is wrong. To assume, yes, that's wrong. To assume that your other partner shouldn't be so needy. When you feel that you have a partner, go back 3 or 4 nights and follow us where we talked about attachment styles that are developed in childhood. And however he or you attached, especially to mom, when you get older, people who need you, when your mom never let you feel as though you could lean in on her, you're going to feel that everyone who needs you is needy. A lot of this stuff goes way, way back. And we're having discussions and arguments and disagreements and divorces today. And it's all from the sandbox. It's not even who we are today. Wow. Put this in the chat for me. The story I'm telling myself. Because now the real fight is going to happen because he or she is staying out of the house more because they don't want to be in a place where they feel so much failure. Now you're going to assume they're cheating if they're not cheating already. Wow. And when we talk about affairs or cheating or needing extra, let's put it right out there, or needing extra emotional intimacy, it has been shown through high research, the numbers are high, that men don't usually cheat as often for emotional intimacy. They will cheat more for sex that they assumed they would get by being married. For some men, doing it God's way. But when you have not honed your skills in to be an empathetic partner, and you don't understand when she says she's feeling invisible, she feels as though she's a sex doll. She feels as though she just cooks and cleans and raises the kids and gives you your desires. She feels like you don't care about her and you're doing things to care about her, right? That you think are showing her you care about her. But that's not. She wants to be heard, listened. She wants to be touched without intimacy. Do I have the right house on tonight? So she's feeling emotional neglect and you're not understanding what you're doing wrong. You bring roses home every Friday. You just went out and bought her a really nice pair of shoes or an expensive pocketbook. I don't know what else this woman needs. She's just a miserable woman. She just likes to complain and nag. No, she's having these emotions and these feelings, and she probably doesn't even know what to do with them. Because who took the time to tell us? Who took the time to ever validate us? So not only is he or she, because it's different in each marriage, believe me, it's different in each marriage, they are having these emotions and feelings and they don't know what to do with them. And they may even have high self-doubt where now they're starting to doubt their feeling. So now they're more angry at themselves than they are at you. And so the whole relationship is being hit with all of this that it may not even be strong enough for. So now she feels emotional neglect, or he's feeling a decreased trust with you because he feels he's failing. I'm going to turn it around for a minute. He feels as though he's failing. So he's not home as often anymore. And now, because he's feeling he's failing, and even though he's staying out of the house more, he feels like you're the one that's cheating on him because you're going to find someone to meet his needs. The needs that you need, that he's feeling he's not been able to give you. I'm as confused as the story is. Perception skill, emotional intelligence, empathy, lack of validation. Now we're angry. Now we're frustrated. Now I'm neglecting you on purpose. And the cats and the dogs and the children and the mouse that lives in the house, Lord have mercy. They're on the outside looking in. When are they going to get it together so our family can be normal again? Then the partner begins to feel resentment and anger. The empathetic partner may develop feelings of resentment towards you or each other and anger towards their less empathetic partner. They feel unsupported, unloved, leading to negative emotions that will lead to self-talk, which will then lead to a story that they'll be telling themselves. And this is when the fight gets really weird because now we're fighting for things that may not even be going on in the relationship. Number 7, lower relationship satisfaction. Over time, the cumulative effects of a lack of empathy can lead to decreased overall satisfaction in the relationship. Have you ever thought, let's think for a moment. Have you ever thought, with all the goings on in our relationships, that maybe it's really lacking empathy? And maybe if one of us and then the other of us can show up with empathy, we can actually get somewhere in our disagreements. Over time, the cumulative effects of a lack of empathy can lead to decreased overall satisfaction in the relationship. The empathetic partner, because if you look at the way I'm breaking this down, do you guys remember the chapter on triggers? Do you notice here that there's an event and there's a trigger? There's an event and there's a trigger. What's the event? Over time, number 7, the cumulative effects of a lack of empathy can lead to decreased overall satisfaction in the relationship. The trigger, the empathetic partner, questions the long-term viability of the relationship. Are y'all getting it? Yes, event, then trigger. Number 8, an impact on our mental health. Wow. Do you think this was God's idea of relationship and relating with one another? Impact on mental health. The partner lacking empathy may not realize the toll their behavior is taking on their partner's mental health. I'm going to say it again. Man, I wish we were at a retreat. The empathetic partner may experience increased stress because of this in the relationship, anxiety, and even depression as a result of feeling emotionally neglected. 2 more to go. Are we all right tonight? If you're there with your loved one, you need to hold their hand right now, because someone's feeling this. Someone is getting the grammar. They're getting the verbiage for how they have been feeling. And they're not blaming you, but they realize now that they maybe need more than what you have been giving. They may have realized now that what's been lacking is this. They may even realize at this point in this teaching that we have been together so long that we both have changed several times over the years. And maybe in the beginning, I was younger and stronger and vibrant and busy and focused and raising the kids and enjoying the love life with you and our youthfulness and going back to school and opening the businesses or running the companies, being promoted to top positions in the company. And now I've reached a level of success where that has plateaued. And now when I look back over my humanity, I looked at in years, I have not pulled on you more for emotional intimacy and support, to hear me, to make me feel that you still love me. After all these years, sometimes years doesn't solidify the relationship, because just as we grow several times as individuals in a relationship, the relationship needs time to recycle as well. So maybe I wasn't such a needy partner when we met, but as time has progressed, I realized I need your hand more. I need your voice more. I need a text more from you. I don't want the sexting all the time. I want you to text me and tell me I just prayed for you. I want you to text me and tell me, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. I prayed for you today, and you will encounter someone who will show you acts of kindness. I prayed for you today. And just like the virtuous woman in the Bible prayed that her husband would be great leadership and very important man in they called it the elders courts. Today, I'm trying to think how I would relate it in the business marketplace arena. I prayed for you today that you will get a high paying client. I prayed for you today that you will have peace in the car. I prayed for you today. And baby, play your favorite song on the way home today. I like how your song makes you happy. I like how you act when you play this certain song. Baby, when you come home tonight, I can't stand this movie, but we're going to watch it tonight because I feel really good when I see you enjoying yourself, even with the movie I can't stand. Remember a chapter ago, acts of kindness? Maybe what we're arguing about or having heated discussions about isn't that you ate the last piece of gum, isn't that you didn't save the last piece for me. Maybe I'm frustrated emotionally. Maybe I feel neglected. Maybe I'm scared because of the changes that we're both going through. I'm beginning to question the long-term viability of our relationship. And that scares me to not be with you in the future. Our trust has been rocked. How do we gain trust back? And how do we gain trust back when we know things are going to happen to always test our trust? Someone say empathy. How do I get rid of this anger? Someone say empathy. We're not in a coaching session, so I can't go deep in with you, but let's just stick with the lesson we're learning tonight. How do I heal from the resentment? How do I help my partner heal from the resentment? Well, if they feel unsupported, begin to support them. Begin to support them in small ways and then ask them, how may I support you? Teach me. I love you enough to go back to class with you, my love. How do I stop her from having these negative emotions? Support her. Love on her. How do I begin to heal our marriage from emotional neglect? We have houses and cars and land and businesses, but we both feel neglected emotionally. How do we do this? Empathy. And after number 9, decrease empathy in return. In some cases, the empathetic partner may start to withdraw their own empathy. Yes, Robert Taylor. He said, deep breath. Betty Humphrey, you can email us. It will be on the screen at the end of the night, and it's on the end of the screen on every video. And you email us, go to our website, and we will definitely set you up. When this happens, what we call the tit for tat in relationship, we're going down. Have you ever seen the movie The War of the Roses? It's about a couple named the Roses. And to watch a beautiful, loving relationship like that go down to a battle of a chandelier. When we decrease empathy for each other. In some cases, the empathetic partner may start to withdraw their own empathy as a defense mechanism. Now they're feeling completely alone and that they need to fortify themselves. They need to save themselves. They become less empathetic in response to feeling unappreciated or supported. And they can get really nasty. When someone has hung in there in their own right and shared with you, became vulnerable with you, requested from you, begged of you, told them that my sexual connection with you feels disconnected because I'm not getting these other parts of my human self paid attention to. Now I have to feel as though I've got to preserve myself. So they may get deeper into hobbies and habits, bigger friendships. Sometimes I've seen couples get into some of the worst friendships. And I'm not talking about affairs. I'm talking about the step before the affairs, the people they meet that they end up meeting and then meeting other people. And they're only doing it. It's a way of surviving. It's a defense mechanism. And they may become less empathetic in response to feeling unsupported and unappreciated for so long. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? And then needless to say, I've made number 10, the relationship dissolution. In severe cases, a lack of empathy, y'all. I'm not talking about money or sex. A lack of empathy in severe cases can contribute to the dissolution of the relationship. The empathetic partner may decide that they cannot continue in a relationship where their emotional needs are not being met. Did you enjoy yourself tonight? Did anyone in here find 1 or 10 things they need to work on? Listen, this is for girlfriends, guy friends. I went through this over the years with friends. It's like I watched us all go through individual things in our lives, and I did not see an emotional response from the rest of us as this other friend needed. And it made me begin to question the relationship. Where are we when one or the other needs someone there emotionally? Yes, you can send flowers, and yes, you can get me money, and yes, you can send me for a massage. And those are wonderful things and wonderful times. But what about when I'm going through something I'm afraid of? What about if I'm going through a season where I feel alone? I'm afraid. What if I'm going through a time and I'm not capable at the moment to be vulnerable about it? And because you can't read minds, you can't guess, and she's not saying anything, there's nothing I can do about it. It's important to note that empathy is a skill that can be developed and improved with effort and self-awareness. Couples therapy or counseling can be a valuable resource for addressing empathy issues in relationship. Both partners, somebody say both. If it's a girls group or a guys group, if it's a bunch of friends, all partners can work together to understand the impact of a lack of empathy, improve communication, and nurture a more empathetic connection. However, if one partner remains unwilling to work on developing empathy, it may be necessary to consider the long-term health of the relationship. Emotional intelligence, which includes the ability to understand and manage one's own emotions and those of others, plays a significant role in various aspects of sexual well-being and intimate relationships. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about how all of this, if not dealt with, begins to affect couples' sex. We're going to be there tomorrow. Tag your married friends. Tag your friends who want to get married and think that just doing a few things for him or her are going to make them happy. Show them the weight of relationship. Show them what a lot of us don't tell people when we come together in church looking great, when we come together on social media taking some of the best photos. Show them what really is built in a relationship, the invisible things that it takes to keep a relationship. Tell them to hit the replay. And if they begin to take one of these issues at a time and gain the skill of empathy necessary, our domestic relationships, our business relationships, our spiritual relationships, even relationships with our enemies, guys, when given another opportunity again with them, you can take the effort to show empathy. It's a skill, so it's a muscle. And we all know what it's like going to the gym. Until you've gone for a while, it's like punishment, but it's worth it every time. Build the skill of emotional intelligence. And in that, it should include empathy. Teflon, I want to thank you for your comment tonight. This is the best teaching and confirmation I have heard in many years. Bless you, sir. I appreciate you taking the time to even note that. What an encouragement you have just given me. We are done for tonight. We will be back on tomorrow night again to discuss some of the ways in which our emotional intelligence and lack thereof can cause issues in our sexual relationships. I am your host, Dr. Apostle Suzanne M. Howard. It has been my pleasure to bring this to you for 30 days every year for 8 years, and I don't plan on stopping. And when the day comes when I do, there'll be a replacement in a seat somewhere coming online to continue building up the human part of us, the part that we don't think God cares about, but he does. We are tripart beings, and we cannot be so heaven bound that the years we have been given on earth we are no earthly good. I love you. I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. God bless you all and have a good night.